What is up? Let's give this a few minutes and see who we got that's going to jump on. Hope everyone is having a good Thursday, or wrapping up their Thursday, I should say. All right, let's jump into this. We've been doing a lot of strategy calls lately with a bunch of realtors that we work with, both new and old. And I wanted to just talk about some of the most common hurdles and roadblocks that I've been hearing with everybody, because a lot of them, it's the same thing over and over. So I figure we can just talk about those, and obviously feel free to chime in with any comments, questions that we can try to answer and talk about. I've got a whole running list of these things, so we'll be doing these over the next few weeks. Hopefully this can bring you guys some more confidence, shed some insight, and help you guys with your content going forward. So let's get started. Number one, first thing that we hear quite often is that there's not enough time for me to post on social media. So I think with that, we have to make the time, right? If marketing is essential to our business, which it should be, whether you're a realtor or you're a lender, you have to make the time to create a post, to create content. Because if you're to your end user, why would they call you, right? And I know I've looked at some agents and their social media profiles and Instagram, and I can look at the last 10 posts, 15 posts, and there might be one post about real estate, one post about how they're helping bring value to their clients. So don't always think about yourself and what you look like and what you sound like. I know that's another hurdle we'll talk about, but make the time to create those posts. Because in the long run, right, if you look at baseball, right, in order to make it to the Hall of Fame, if you bat 300, you probably have a good shot. So that means you're hitting the ball 1 out of every 3 tries. And if you're only posting once a week, and let's take, me and my team, for example, we're posting several times in a day, I'm going to get to that point to hit the ball faster than you will at that pace of 1 post a week, 2 posts a week, 3 posts a week. So try to create that momentum so you can post once, at least at a worst case, once a week, because then once you start to build that momentum and people start calling you and they remember your face, they remember your voice and how you can help other people, now that post could lead to a deal, right? So now when you look at when you monetize the post, and let's say, right, the average home in Vegas right now is about 300,000. If you got one deal off of the post, that post is now worth $9,000. So now that makes it even worse to say that if you don't have the time to create content to potentially make $9,000, I don't know what else is going to motivate you to do that, right? So take some time, whether it's first thing in the morning, late at night, or during your lunch break. Take those 5 to 10 minutes to think about something valuable that you can bring to your audience, because that's going to be something that will then make somebody want to reach out to you. Okay, let's see. Leo, yes, you got to make the time. 100%. Number 2 hurdle we hear quite a bit is I don't know what to post. I think a lot of people, that I've talked to, you guys all know we're big Gary Vee guys. So, Gary Vee always talks about the jab, 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 right hook. And I think a lot of times in real estate, we always try to go for the right hook, where we're constantly asking for the business. But if you haven't built up a brand, you haven't built up a following on social media, and you're not consistently bringing value to your audience, you almost don't have the right to even ask for the business, right? It's kind of like if you were dating, and for those of you who have a spouse or you're married, go back to day one, right? When you first met, did you? I mean, I would imagine you didn't hook up the first day, but if you did, hey, kudos to you. But for the most of us, it's going to take several dates, right? Lunches, coffees, dinners, vacations together before you get to the point of, hey, I love this person and I want to marry them. And that's kind of the same process our audience is going to go with us, right? So will it work every once in a while that you do get, you send a post out or you create content and then you automatically get a lead? Yes, that will happen from time to time. But that's just luck, right? That's not something that you can consistently repeat on an everyday basis, because if that was the case, we'd all be doing more business. So think of your audience as like you're dating. So you have to create content. You have to let them into who you are as a person so they can build trust and like you. Same thing, when we always talk with our team, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open to your end audience. And I know that's one of the most difficult things that we can do. And we all struggle with that, even myself. But that's going to be the type of post, the type of video, the type of ad copy that your client or your potential client is going to identify with. They're going to say, hey, Sean is a regular human being just like me. And, he's not, I don't feel like he's too busy for me, or I won't be able to relate to him. Those are all the little things that our clients want to hear and see from us. So don't overthink the post when it comes down to what do I say online, right? Speak from the heart. Speak from who you are as a person, because the more authentic you are, the more transparent you are, and who you truly are as a person at the end of the day, that's going to win over the drone shot of a new listing, or some fancy edited video that may not even truly represent who you are. And I know some people, they like that stuff, right? And again, it might work for the very few minority of the people that's out there, but for us to go and create a vast, broad net, we want to be approachable. Like I always tell the story that, as you see some of our content, for myself, I'm always in a Loan Depot t-shirt. Shout out to our digital boot camp, and a hat. Now, if you see Ivan Simmental on my team, he's always in a suit, maybe a tie and a hat. But that's his brand. That's who he is. Like you'll never see me do a video in a shirt and tie, because when you come to my office and you meet with us, I'm going to be dressed like this. So that's me being true to my authentic self. That way, my customers, my clients, my agents I work with, they know what to get when they work with us. So that's something that I urge you folks to really just think about who you are as an agent or a lender at the end of the day, and how can you bring value to your clients, right? Don't think that the one post is going to be the end all be all. It's going to be the little things that you share with your clients, like what's your hobby, right? It could be like, for myself, I'm a huge basketball fan. I played my whole life. You see the Kobe Bryant jerseys behind me. It could be you're a shoe fanatic, right? I collect shoes as well. It could be you love riding dirt bikes. You have a passion for pets or dogs, whatever that is. That's the stuff that needs to come out in your content, so that way your end user will then say, hey, I like this guy because of this reason. And that's the type of stuff that you can start to build a brand and build a following. And like they say online, you want to build your tribe. Okay. Ivan, yes, tell a story, share an experience, think about your audience. Telling stories is one of the most important things we always stress. And the third thing that we hear quite often is that no one cares about my content. And I used to feel like this the same way for a long time. I think the longer you stay in the business, or the longer that we've been in the business, we kind of get to the point where we feel that, whatever we do every day, it's not important, or it's not that special that someone's going to want to care about it or even listen to what we have to say. But at the end of the day, how many people that we deal with are buying a home for the first time? Or you know what, maybe they bought a house, but it was 10 years ago, and they're completely, foreign to the way business is done today and how the industry has evolved and changed. So don't be a judge on yourself with what you think is not going to work. Because again, it's your audience at the end of the day that's going to dictate whether or not your post, your video, your ad copy works, right? Like Gary Vee always says, he's living in the comments. He's reading what people are saying. He's, it's not always about the likes, right? Because if people can like, comment, or send you messages, that's the type of stuff you need to double down on and start talking even more about. So for a lot of us, I think we try to think that, hey, something as simple as earnest money. Well, everybody should know what that is, but not everyone does, right? So even if you were to create, let's say, a video series of what it takes to get qualified to purchase a home, or what it even takes to maybe the 10 things you could do prior to listing your home, you would assume that maybe the seller would know that, but how many sellers or how many times do you have to mention that or talk about that with the seller? And even on the buy side, right? So it's something as simple as that we can then create content to then bring value to our end audience. We might know that because we do hundreds of transactions a year, right? Or we've been doing this for 20 years. And we may not think that our customers really care about that stuff. But it's little things like that that can help them get through the process and show that you are the professional, to be able to help them through that buying or selling process. I think, when thinking about content, don't be overly critical of yourself, because, we can always change and adapt to what's going on, in the marketplace. Like right now, there was lots of talk about forbearance, right? In the last week and a half, everybody was talking about forbearance, but now we can shift and now look at the future for our clients. What's going to be the next thing, right? It's still navigating our clients, how to get through the process with all these new guideline changes. As much as we're, having to adapt every day, so will the realtors, so will buyers, and so will sellers. So as we navigate these new waters that we're all going to be, foreign to, we can bring all of those types of data and fact points to all of our clients, whether you're a realtor or you're a lender. That's the type of stuff right now that I think that we can help bring to the community, as well as humanizing what we do. So, again, going back to being open and transparent, those are all the types of things right now that will help people maybe feel a little bit better about their situation, get them through whatever they're dealing with, and, just be a human and a friend at the end of the day to everybody. And I think those three things right now are some of the biggest things that we hear from a lot of agents that we talk to. And I hope some of this insight can help you guys navigate those roadblocks in your head and know that, it's just one post at a time, right? Don't get overwhelmed with trying to keep up with the Gary V's or the Grant Cardones or whoever else out there in the world that you follow that might be posting 2, 3, 4 times a day. Start with a small goal, something as little as maybe one time a day, right? And maybe a few stories throughout the day, just sharing your journey, sharing what you're going through, and just get comfortable, right? And like for me, I grew up playing basketball, so it's kind of like getting in a rhythm, right? You hit one shot, you feel good. You hit 2 in a row, you feel even better. Same thing with posting and creating content. You create one, you get over that hurdle. Now you create a second piece of content. Maybe you post a video. Now you're kind of getting in a rhythm, and just start to keep rolling with that every single day. And sooner or later, you'll look back in 30 days, you'll have a ton of content that you have shared with your audience, and you're starting to slowly build your brand. So if we don't have any other questions or comments, I hope you guys found this helpful. Again, if you guys are struggling and want to sit down with myself and the team, we're more than happy to do that. And we can really dive deep with what you're talking about in your content and see how we can help you guys out. So happy Thursday. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our podcast as well. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.